All right, hello and welcome. Brett here with ClickMill.co. So in this video, we are going to talk about meta prompting. And Sophie, I would love it if you actually just restarted this little conversation with the question you had asked in the last video on, what was it, blog, giving it a goal, giving the AI a goal. What was the question that you asked so that we can kind of jump into that?
So I was just asking in order to get like the optimal goal or in order to achieve the best result for the AI, can you have conversations with it in order to
Yes.
understand the kind of information that
Yes,
it needs from you?
that's great. Great question. Okay, so what I want to share with you is, and I'm pulling up a list of prompts right now. And if you're watching this, you can have this prompt. I did not make this prompt. Actually, I highly customized this prompt to my needs. You're welcome to do the same. But I borrowed the basic concept from, I don't know, someone else on YouTube, I think. Either way. So yeah, so a meta prompt is anytime we talk about like a meta, um, when we talk about metaphysics, that means beyond the physical. When we talk about, a meta narrative, is it is outside of the like, I don't know, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a story about a lion who, sacrifices himself for all of the creatures and saves them, and he's their savior. But the meta narrative is the story of the Christ figure. So it's the thing above the thing. And that's what meta is. Okay. So a meta prompt is a prompt beyond a specific prompt. And so in a lot of cases, we'll use a meta prompt to give us the prompt that we're looking for. Okay. So in this case, it is a prompt creation prompt. So and again, I would just stress the quality of your ability to ask questions is going to determine in the future a large degree of what you're capable of, because AIs will know everything, and your ability to know what you need to know and ask it to do what you want is where all of the results are going to come from in the future. And if you don't know how to ask good questions, and if you don't know how to know what you need to know, you're not going to be able to do anything. So the prompt creation prompt would be something like, and I'll tell you what, I'll make this available in the notes of this lesson, because we won't maybe read through the whole thing. Well, here, I guess we will. We'll read through the whole thing. I'll just share my screen. Well, I'll read it here, and then we'll put it under the course. That's what we'll do, and the notes. So it says, I want you to become my prompt creator. Okay, so this right here, we're giving it a role, a persona. It is now a prompt creator. Your goal, so you'll notice now we're moving into goal, which we talk about in giving it the goal. Your goal is to help me craft the best possible prompt for my needs. The prompt will be used by you, ChatGPT. So we're now telling ChatGPT that it will be using it, and it is a prompt creator. So it's now understanding its relationship even with itself, which is kind of interesting and weird. You will follow this process. One, and then you can break these out into steps. Step one, this just says one, your first response will be to ask me. So after prompting it with the meta prompt, it will then, your first response will be to ask me what the prompt should be about. I will provide my answer to you, but we will need to improve it through continual iterations by going through the next steps. Two, based on my input, you will generate three sections. A revised prompt. So it's going to update the prompt every time it responds. Okay. And then B, you're going to make suggestions that would provide, and I actually usually remove B because I don't like that, but it will provide suggestions on what else it thinks should be included in the prompt. And number three here, or what am I saying? C, here we go. Questions. Ask any relevant questions pertaining to what additional information is needed for me to improve the prompt. So if I say, help me to create a prompt on how to buy an apartment complex that, what, help me to create a prompt that will tell me what I'm looking for in an apartment complex that I want to buy. And it's saying, okay, well, let's revise the prompt. How big of an apartment complex are you looking for? What's the location that you're looking to purchase in? What are the tax laws like in that area? And it's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions to further revise that prompt so that when you put it in, it'll output the right information. And it'll just keep going. In this case, it's just going to keep going in circles with these questions and the revised prompt until you're satisfied with it and you're like, okay, this is enough. So then step 3 here, we will continue this iterative process around and around. It's asking questions and you're providing them. It updates the prompt and asks more questions. We will continue this iterative process with me providing additional information to you and you updating the prompt in the revised prompt section until it's complete. And basically you say, okay, we're done. And then you take the prompt and you go drop it into ChatGPT and then see if it provides the output you want. Does that make sense as to how you would do a prompt creation prompt where ChatGPT is helping you make a prompt that you need?
Yeah, and how long would that take? Obviously, it's different depending
Yeah, so let's
on
do
the
this.
output you get.
Yeah, what we're going to do, we'll actually drop it in. And again, we'll provide this under the video. Let me pull up actually. Okay. Well, is there anything you want a prompt on that we can actually just roll through this with? Okay, so I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to edit this down to 2 sections. I do not like a B personally where it gives suggestions. I just wanted to ask questions. Okay, so help me create a prompt of what to ask ChatGPT to include. Okay, and now we could say on my resume, RESU resume, but let's say, giving it some context as we've talked about, on my resume, I want to submit to Christian Ministries for, I'm just making this up, for a online marketing position. Okay, and so we'll see if this prompt works. It's very possible that I broke it, but here we go. So here's the revised prompt. Assist me in crafting a resume tailored for a position in online marketing at Christian Ministries, include relevant experience, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then questions, here we go. Could you share any specific skills in online marketing you possess, social media management, SEO, content? Okay. So we'll say I'm a mastermind who can do everything. 2, do you have any previous work experience? We'll say 5 years. We're just giving it information. What personal attributes do you believe are important to highlight a role in a Christian ministry to highlight for a role? We'll just go dedication to the word and discipline, DISCIP, discipline. Okay, cool. And then we'll go, for 4, we'll say NA because they're not always relevant. And we'll go 5 NA. You don't even have to answer them all. And then what you'll see is it's going to output an updated prompt and it's going to ask more questions. And so the further you go with this, I've used this a whole bunch of times. It's actually really helpful. Sometimes you still have to go into the prompt and tweak it a little bit just because you can read it and be like, it'd be better if it was like this, but it gives you a really good starting point. Okay. Generate a comprehensive resume for a versatile online marketing expert targeting position in Christian ministries, highlight a broad skill set encompassing all factors of online, all facets of marketing. So it's going to output, let's say this is yours, Sophie, can do, and then it's just going to list all of online marketing, which is exactly what we said you could do. Underpinned by 5 years of experience, emphasize dedication and Christian values and commitment to work and discipline. Okay, cool. So it is telling ChatGPT to write the resume according to what we said. And then you would come through, do it again, go around and around and around until you had an Uber prompt, and then you'd have it write your resume for you. And it will probably then go into, well, how would you like the resume to be organized? And then it would probably even factor in like, well, I want the headings to be bold, and you can get into all that stuff in here. Okay. So that is an example of a meta prompt. Any questions on any of that before we move on? Good deal. Okay, we will go ahead and we will move on to the next video.